We continue now at the top of Daf Kuf Zayin Amid Beis Mesechet Kesuvos. This is Kesuvos Daf 107b. On the previous summit, the Gemara had brought a brayso. So let's say you have a situation where a husband goes Lamedinas Hayom. So it says we don't take from his estate in order to give the wife davar acher. And it was a machlokas amoraim. What is this davar acher that we're not giving to the wife from the late husband's estate? One amora said that we're not giving her money to give to tzedakah, to aniyim, and the other one said we're not going to give her tachshit, we're not going to give her ornaments. And the Gemara now explains that if you say that we're not going to give her ornaments, kol shekein tzedakah. So certainly we're not going to give tzedakah. Rashi over here says tzedakah ein bezin poskin tzedakah laniyim min chasav bizman shashar b'nei poskin alein tzedakah. At the time that the rest of the city is giving this tzedakah, so the bezin is not going to go to his property in order to take money for tzedakah for aniyim. That the bezin will not do. Certainly, if they're not going to give her money for the tachshit, they're not going to give her for tzedakah. But ma'adam or tzedakah, but the one who says that we're not going to give for tzedakah, aval tachshit yavin Allah, but we would give her money for ornaments, to lo nicholete to navel, because that the husband himself would not want that she looks bad. Rashi over here says tachshit besamim refers to besamim, spices, liskashit benishto, meaning to say like perfume that the woman adorns herself with. So again, that we would give her according to the Ma'andamer that says davar acher refers to tzedakah. And the Gemara continues, Tashma, coming here the following proof, Hayavama, the Yavama, Gimel Chadasham Arishonim, in the first 3 months, when she can't yet do Yibam and she can't yet get married, Nizonas Mishal Bala, then she's supported from her late husband's estate. Mikan va'elach eina nizonas lo mishal bala v'lo mishal yavam. From then onward, she's not supported from her late husband's estate, and she's not supported from the estate of the yavam. Amad bedin, now if she goes to court and she tells him to either marry her to do chalitza, uvarach, and he runs away, so at that point in time, nizonas mishal yavam, she is supported from the yavam's estate, and that seems to be a question on Shmuel, because here you have a situation where the yavam went lemedinas hayam, and apparently she is supported from his property. And the Gemara answers, Amar lach Shmuel, so Shmuel will respond to you. In this particular case, Lamai nechashla. Here, none of the concerns exist that existed in the other case of a typical husband who leaves. Lamai nechashla lahai, what concern is there? Imisham tzrari, if it's because there's a bundle of money that might have been given to her already. So lo mikravo daite lagabe, they're not close to one another yet, so there's no concern that there was a bundle of money left her, so that's not a concern, so she can be supported from his estate. Imisham ma'aseh yadeh, now if it's because of the earnings, maybe he told her, you should earn money yourself, and I won't take your earnings, and therefore I don't have to support you. But lo mishtabdele, she's not meshubit to him yet. She's not meshubit to the husband. Her earnings don't go to this yavam, and so therefore that's not a reason also to deny her mizonos, and that's why this case is different by a yavam, and he would, and his estate would have to provide mizonos for her. And the Gemara continues, Tashma, coming here, another proof, Ha'isha shehalcha hi uvala lemedinas hayam. Let's say you have a situation where a wife and her husband, they go far away, uvas v'yamr, then she comes back and she says, Meis bali, my husband died, so ratzta nizones, ratzta gova ksubas. If she wants, she can be supported, she can get mizonos. If she wants, she can collect her ksuba. Gershani Bali. Now let's say she doesn't say that her husband died, but she says my husband divorced me. So misparneses v'oleches ad kedei ksubasa. So then she could be supported. She does get mizonos, but only up until the value of her ksuba. And so therefore, again, this is a question on Shmuel, because it says over here, she says, my husband divorced me, he's far away. It's not a case where he died. And so the halacha seems to be that she is supported. And so the Gemara answers, no, hachanami, here also, kishashamu bo shemes. The case over here is where we actually did hear that he died. And therefore, as we said before in the previous summit, in a situation where there was news that the husband had died, so then she does get mizonos. But if that's the case, but if we heard that he died, why is she only collecting up to the value of her ksuba? The halach is if the husband dies, she actually can continue to collect mizonos so long as she hasn't remarried. And to that, the Gemara answers, no, she made herself lose out, because she claimed that it was a divorce. So since she said it was a divorce, so she's only allowed to collect up to the value of her ksuba. And the Gemara continues, Tashma, coming here, another proof, Keitzad Amrum Mima'enes Ein La Mizonos. What's the situation where a Mima'enes, again, that's a girl who's a minor, who refuses, who walks out on the marriage, what's the situation where she does not get Mizonos? It says she doesn't get Mizonos, what is that referring to? It can't possibly mean that while she's married, she doesn't get Mizonos. Because the halach is her husband does have to provide her Mizonos while they're married. The case is really where her husband traveled far away. Love saviyachla, so then she borrowed money and she used that to eat. She used that for mizonos. Amda umiana, and then she got up and she refused and she wants to be paid back. That's the situation where she doesn't get mizonos. And so the Gemara says, Taima de Miyana. The only reason in that case she doesn't get mizonos is because it's a case of Miyun, because she was the one that walked out in the marriage. Hello, Miyana, but if there was no refusal, Yehavinallah, apparently we would give her mizonos. So again, this is a question on Shmuel. And so the Gemara says, Amar lach Shmuel, Shmuel can respond to you, again, what concern is there in this case? All of the reasons not to give mizonos don't apply here. Imishum tzrari, if it's because there was maybe a bundle of money that was left to her already, so she's not entitled. Tzrari lekatana lo matvis, people don't leave tzrari, they don't leave the bundle of money for a girl that's a minor. Now, if you're going to say it's because maybe he said that she can keep her own earnings, ketana lo safka, generally speaking, a girl that's a minor, her earnings are not going to be enough to provide for her. And Rashi over here explains, again, we said that let's say you have a situation where she and her husband went to Medina Sayyam, then she comes back and she says, my husband died, so we said if she wants, she can get mizonos. If she wants, she can collect the ksuba. Because the wife is believed to say, my husband died, and that allows her to remarry. Just like she's believed to get remarried, so too she's believed to collect her ksuba. This we learn out in Mesechet Yevamas from the ksuba itself, from the language of the ksuba. And then it said that if she said, my husband divorced me, so she can get mizonos up until the value of the ksuba. Ksuba lo gavia, shema lo girsha. Because when it comes to the ksuba, she can't collect that because maybe she wasn't divorced. We don't believe her regarding gerushin. But when it comes to mizonos, we will give it to her. We'll do that, and again, up to the payment of the ksuba, because im girsha hareinat lasan b'chsubasa. If there was a divorce, so she can take it anyway to the value of her ksuba. And if there was no divorce, harei chayv mizonos, says chayv anyways to give her mizonos. And so the Gemara said, but it's only up to that value because she lost out otherwise. Because she herself is claiming that she was divorced and a grusha does not get mizonos, and that's why it's only up to the value of the ksuba. And Rashi continues, now if you're going to say, since we've heard that he's already died, so tikva ksubasa yachad, let her collect the entire ksuba in one shot. Why is she just being supported with mizonos up until the value of the ksuba in this case? And Rashi says, well, really that's true. She really could have collected the ksuba. The only reason it says over here she takes mizonos till the value of the ksuba, so maybe she doesn't want to collect the whole ksuba, because she thinks shemalomes. She doesn't know for sure that he died. She thinks maybe he didn't die. It's better for her. It's more advantageous for her to take just from mizonos. That way, if her husband turns out to be alive and comes back, take kol ksubasa kayemis. Her whole ksuba is still going to be around for her to collect later. And again, she'll get the parnasa until the value of the ksuba, and no more than that. And the Gemara continues, my have Allah. So what is the final psak halach in terms of the machlokes on the previous Amud Rav and Shmuel, whether or not the wife is entitled to the mizonos if the husband travels far away? Kiyasa Rav Dimi Amar, when Rav Dimi came, he said as follows, Ma'isa bo lifnei Rebbe, there was an incident in front of Rebbe bebeis Sharim and beis Sharim. Rav Dimi is reporting this, he's coming to Bavel and reporting this psak from Eretz Yisrael. Upasak la mizonos, and Rebbe said that she is entitled to mizonos. Lifnei Rabbi Yishmael b'tzipori, but there was another incident in front of Rabbi Yishmael and Tzipori, v'lo pasak la mizonos, and he did not give her mizonos. Tehi bar Rabbi Yochanan wondered at this. V'chi ma ro Rabbi Yishmael shelo pasak la mizonos, why would Rabbi Yishmael paskin that she doesn't get the mizonos? Halo nechliku b'nei Kohanim Gedolim v'Chanan, elo l'inyan shvur. The whole machlokas between the b'nei Kohanim Gedolim and Chanan was only whether or not an oath has to be taken. Alva mizone yavinala, but certainly they all agree that she does get mizonos, so why would anyone paskin that she does not get mizonos? Amar le Rav Shimon bar Abba, so Rav Shimon bar Abba said to him, meaning he said to Rabbi Yochanan, Kvar tirgama Rabbeinu Shmuel beBavel kishashamu bo shemes. Our master Shmuel in Bavel, he already answered this question, and he said that machlokas between the Bnei Kohanim Gedolim and Chanan was talking about when they heard that he died. That's why she gets mizonos, but if it wasn't a situation where they heard that he died, so then indeed it's possible she does not get mizonos. Amar le, so then Rabbi Yochanan said back to Rav Shimon bar Abba, Pasrisu bakulihai, have you analyzed it to that extent that you're able to answer this question in that fashion? In other words, Rabbi Yochanan was surprised that he was able to resolve the question in such a fashion. Kiyasa Ravin Amar, now when Ravin came to Bavel from Eretz Yisrael, he said the story slightly differently. Ma'isa bo lifnei Rebbe bebeis Sharim, the incident was in front of Rebbe and beis Sharim, v'lo pasak la mizonos, and it was Rebbe who said she doesn't get mizonos. Lifnei Rabbi Yishmael b'tzipori, and then there was another incident in front of Rabbi Yishmael b'tzipori, tzipora. Again, the opposite from before. Upasak la mezonos, and Rabbi Shmuel said that she is entitled to mezonos. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, and again Rabbi Yochanan said, Ma ro Rebbe shelo pasak la. Why did Rebbe say that she doesn't get mezonos? Ta'alo nechlaku Chanan uvnei kohanim gedolim el in shvuas, because the machlokas Chanan and the bnei kohanim gedolim was only whether or not she takes a shvua. Aval mezonos yavin Allah, but everybody agreed she does get mezonos. How could you pass and she does not get mezonos? Amar later of Shemin bar Abba kfar tirgam Shmuel bebavel kishashama bo shemei. So again, Rav Shemin bar Abba said to Rabbi Yochanan, Shmuel already answered this question in Bavel and said it's talking specifically when they heard he died. That's when there was a machlokas Chanan and bnei kohanim gedolim, and everybody agrees that she gets, and everybody agreed that she got mezonos. Amar lei, and again Rabbi Yochanan said to Rav Shemin bar Abba, pasrisu ba kulihai. Have you really analyzed it to such an extent that you're able to answer this question? And the Gemara concludes, V'hilchasa kavase de Rav who poskin mezonos. The halacha is like Rav, and she does receive mezonos. La'eshes ish, if she's the wife again of this husband who went far away. V'hilchasa kavase de Rav Huna amar Rav, and the halacha is also like Rav Huna, who said that Rav said, Yamar Rav Huna amar Rav, because Rav Huna said that Rav said, Yechola isha shatomer labala, that a wife could say to her husband, Eini nizones ve'eni yosa, that I don't want to be supported by you, but my earnings, I don't want my earnings to go to you. V'hilchasa kavase de Rav Zavid b'kunya. And finally, the Gemara says the halacha is like Rav Zavid when it comes to the kunya. Kunya refers to earthenware vessels that are glazed. The Amar Rav Zavid, because Rav Zavid said, Hani mani de kunya chivri v'uchmi. If you have these glazed vessels and they're white and black, sharu, that's actually permitted, meaning the assumption is they don't absorb the food or the liquid that you put into them, and therefore they remain kosher because of the fact that they are glazed. Yeruke, but the green ones, asiri, those are usher because they do absorb the non-kosher food. But we only say that in a situation where they have no cracks by the black and white vessels. But if they have cracks, asira, then they are forbidden, because then it is assumed that they've absorbed the non-kosher food. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Misha halach lemedinas hayam, if somebody travels far away, v'yamar echad, and another person gets up, upirnes es ishto, and he supports this guy's wife. So Chanan Omer ibed es ma'osav. Chanan says that person has lost his money. He's not entitled to reimbursement when the husband comes back. Nachliku Allah b'nei kohanim gedolim, but the sons of the kohanim gedolim, they argued in Chanan. V'yamru, and they said, Yishava kamahu tzivitol, he should take an oath how much he spent, and he is entitled to collect. Amar Rabbi Dosa ben Horkanes kedivreim. Rabbi Dosa ben Horkanes agreed with the Bnei Kohanim Gedolim. Amar Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, but Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said, Yafa Amar Chanan. No, Chanan is correct. Hiniach ma'osav al keren atzvi, because this person places money on the horn of a deer, meaning again he spent his money, and there should be no assumption that there's any kind of reimbursement. And the Gemara says, Tanan Hasam, we learned in a Mishnah over there in Mesechet Nedarim, Hamudar Hana Mechaveru. Let's say somebody is Mudar Hana from his friend, meaning to say there is a neder on this person that he's not allowed to derive benefit from his friend. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Kuf Ches Amud Aleph.